Are you looking to learn how to make a needle felted fairy? If so, then you're on the right video because today I'm going to teach you everything you need to know to make one and more. Hey everyone, and welcome to today's video, how to make a needle felted fairy. My name is Iceland, and on this channel, Snowflake Forest Felting, I share needle felting videos, have needle felting tutorials like this one, and share product reviews from time to time. So if you're new and this interests you, please consider subscribing. And if you want to know more about anything you see here on this channel, be sure and check the links in the description below this video or leave a comment. I'd love to connect with you there. And there you should have two little legs with feet. Now I'm going to grab my other felting pad and I'm going to start to create her dress. I want most of it to be this color. And this part is basically just going to be her skirt. So we're going to felt this into a cone shape. And we'll drop her body down in and then attach it. Put her leg underneath to help you gauge how long her skirt will be. That is helpful. And then just start felting this. Come down from the inside like so, just to start to get all your fibers attached. Work at it from both angles. Just be careful to not felt your cone shape together. If you have any places that are thin, be sure and add the wool. You want your cone shape to be as even as possible. And then continue this until you have a nice and felted skirt for her to wear. Alright, once her skirt starts to get completely felted, you're going to want to trim any of the excess fibers off of it. So just take your scissors and start trimming it like so, making it all nice and smoothed out. Alright, you don't have to get too perfect with the trimming at this point because we'll do a little more trimming when she's complete. But now if you're wanting to put a design on her skirt like I have, I'm going to go ahead and grab your wool. Okay, I'm going to fold it to make it a little bit thicker. And then I'm going to roll it at the end a little bit. So when I attach it here at the top, I'm going to felt it down into a point so it gets more narrow as I go towards the bottom of her skirt. So it looks like so. Now I'm going to do the same thing on the opposite side of her skirt. And then just continue this process until you have the design completely around the whole skirt. Now trim any extra fibers that have felted through, and then just continue to felt the skirt until all of these fibers are nice and tucked and smooth looking. If you need to do any trimming, be sure to trim. Alright, once you have the skirt finished, you can go ahead and attach the legs. You're going to do this the same way we attach the arms. Fray them apart so you have a really broad surface that's attached. Once her legs are on, it's time to put on her skirt. And tuck her little feet in there. And then felt it in. And then grab some more wool and we'll put on the top part of her dress. I'm going to do this just up to the top of her chest line and then underneath her armpits and wrap it around to her back and pin it just at the base of the back of her skirt. On the back, just come to a peak triangle like that. And then just continue felting like so until it's nice and felted on and even. You might have to help create her hourglass shape while felting the dress on. Alright, now it's time to start creating her wings, and then get the colors you plan to make her wings with. And a little bit of wool here. So I am doing a combination where I'm going to mesh the blue and the white together. And it's just a simple process, pulling the wool back and forth. And then I also wanted to add a little bit of this shimmery gray color throughout it. Pull a few pieces of that out. And really the key part here is getting these fibers entangled between each other as much as possible. So now that her wings are all completely meshed, you're going to want to divide it into 4 parts. The top part of her wings being larger than the bottom part. Alright, set them aside and then start with one of the first parts of the upper wing. I'm going to pull some of the blue here a little bit more through the white. Go ahead and felt your top fairy wing, flipping it back and forth between each side, and then do this until it is pretty good and felted, and we'll start on the next part of her wing. Alright, so once that wing is starting to come to, you can go ahead and start the other one. You're going to want to do these together so that way you can make them nice and parallel. So just repeat the same thing for this wing too. Alright, now that you have your wings all felted, it's going to be time to trim them. You can see it's not looking the smoothest. So trimming them up is going to be key in making them look nice and smooth on the edges. And then I really recommend that you place the one on top of the other one to trim it. So then that way they are truly matching each other and the exact same size. And then trim up the lower ones as well. And then be careful that when you're doing this, that your cuts are not too jagged. This is truly to smooth your project out and make the wings matching. You're also going to want to trim them along the surfaces. Alright, once you're done trimming up your wings, it's going to be time to put a design on each of them. I'm going to be using my sparkles, and I'm going to start with the first wing, piercing it down in and just felting it very loosely across the top, and just letting each one kind of fall in its own place. Show it to you a little closer there, just like so. So then that way her wings will have a nice shimmer to them. Once you've got your design and little sparkles on top of your fairy wings, you set them aside. You also want to give her shoes a little extra sparkle. You can use that same wool, roll it into a nice ball in your fingers. I'm actually going to split mine in two, and then add each one to the top. like so, and then do the other. Same thing, get a little bit, roll it into a ball. And if you need to trim any that are a little too wild. And next, you're gonna add a little flower to her dress. Get your light pink, and then just felt it on to the side of her hip. And you're gonna make about 6 of these, or however many petals you want your flower to have. And then next you're going to take a little bit of your yellow or gold to make the center pollen part of your flower, and then put that directly center, just like that. Alright, now you're going to attach the wings to her back. Fairy wings point up, so I'm going to felt these down right into the base of her back where her dress and top meet. And then add the bottom ones, and you can make them point out a little bit more. Put them right into the bottom of where you put the other ones, and then attach the other one just the same. Look at that, she's starting to look like a fairy. Alright, just a little bit more felting. I'm gonna take a hint of my gray shimmer and make a center attachment point. A little bit more, roll it and make a line. Now we're gonna take the gold and give her some hair. So you're gonna want her hair to cover along the back of her head as well. I'm gonna tuck it in there and just wrap it around her. Twirl it along her front and felt it on down to her hip. I don't want it to be too long, so I'm gonna trim it up a little bit, and then I'm gonna take another piece, do the same onto this side, twirl a little bit, and wool roving really is nice for doing hair over wool batting. Again, cut the end, because I don't want her ends to get too tangly. Build it up around her face, neck as well. I know it's kind of hard to see what I'm doing. Rolling it down. I'm gonna cut the end away. And do the same. And you can see I'm not over felting her hair too much, so it will be more delicate than some of the rest of the items on her. A little bit more here. Then you can take even a little bit more, give her a little bit of a part, and swoop it down onto her face some. And then I'm gonna tuck this one down and back behind her arm and felt it down into her hip. All right, now take a little tiny bit of the pink and put it onto the side of her cheek to give her rosy cheeks. Gonna do the same to the other side. And then lastly, you're gonna take a little bit of the black, roll it super, super thin, cut mine even, and then you're gonna draw on little smiley faces for the eyes. I'm gonna tuck this one up under her hair a little bit, and then do the same on the other side. The key here is really making these look even. Alright, and then lastly you want to give her one final overall felt, tuck any fibers that you see that might need to be tucked, and then once you've done that, you're gonna go and you're gonna trim her up all over and make her nice and complete. You can do this over a trash can or in a well-lit area so you can see your fibers and the ones that are astray. All right. And by now, you should have a felted fairy as well. And I'll give you a look at her a little closer. They're just so super cute. There you can see the sparkle on her wings a little better from the back side. Alright, that's it. That's everything you need to know to make a needle felted fairy and be a fiber artist too. If you enjoyed this video and learned something new, please be sure and give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing. And if there's something you think that I should felt next, leave it down in the comments below. I might just make it. Thanks so much for watching, you guys, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!